Hey everybody, this is Dr. Moriel McDuffie with Politics as Usual at usualpolitics.com. I got a couple people with me that work in schools. I got my man Terrence Delane. He's a family crisis therapist. He works over at Southern Elementary School. And I have Kenyatta Livingston. He's a team leader for the community school program at Stubbs Education Center in Wilmington, Delaware. So what we want to do is we've been thinking about the struggles that people are having because we're going from a traditional 5-day-a-week, 8-hour-a-day school setting to a more hybrid setting, and some people are in a virtual setting. So we wanted to have a kind of a roundtable discussion and talk about why, just some tips and things that people can do. So we want to talk about the tips and give people some skills or some ideas for how they can be better. So let's get started. So the first question I got to ask you guys, because you guys work in the schools, I work with alternative education as well, but how can parents help their kids adjust to school from home? What advice would you give parents, who say weren't comfortable with the technology or the material?
Right. I guess I can start with that. The first thing I would say is honestly, you just have to be patient. Be patient, take the time to learn something new, whether it would be the Schoology, or whether it would be Zoom. Just take the time to learn that new technology, and also creating a space inside of your home or inside of wherever you're living at for a place for that student to be able to do their schoolwork quietly. They can make that space their own, just like they would at school. Kind of like you decorate your desk at the school, all your stuff is in your desk at school. Just do the same thing at home, whether it's at the kitchen table or at the dining room table, or if you can come up on the desk, just having that space in the home for the child where they can still feel that sense of school like at home.
Absolutely. Okay, that makes sense. Do you have anything else to add to that?
Right. I mean, I just piggyback off of one thing and just saying that when working from home, the thing you need to do is make sure you have the technology phone number in case you have any issues with your program as far as the school running. You want to have phone numbers of different people you might have, your counselors, your therapists, your teacher. Some people use Schoology, some are in Dojo, depending on what terminology, what things your school use. You just want to have those numbers handy, because I got a lot of calls last year of my computer went down. How do I get help?
Okay.
So you need to have the tech program and have 2 emails, because tech will email you versus calling you. So those are some of the things that might help.
So generally, how would you get that number, that technology number?
So that technology number, you can usually get it from your email.
Okay.
But I know if your computer goes down, you can't get into your email, so you may have to call the actual district phone number just to get the number for technology. And they can set you up and get you situated.
How important is it to have a dedicated workspace?
And I can take that. As Kenyatta touched on that earlier, it's very, very important. When you think about your kids in the classroom, and your kids, they know exactly where to go to do their work. They know to go to their desk. They know they need to go to the locker, get yourself up your locker, you go to the desk. And even, speaking personally, I have kids, we all have kids, and just doing it from last year, we had to get my daughter a dedicated workspace, because without it, she was everywhere. TV room, living room, dining room, kitchen. I'm working for 2 minutes, I'm back in front of us. So just having it sort of cuts down on a lot of extras and keeps your kids focused.
Okay.
Yeah, and also to echo Terrence's, and also just to have a dedicated schedule. We know, like I have one daughter, Terrence has one daughter, but for parents that may have more than one child, it could be a little bit difficult to set up that designated space for more than one student. But at the same time, if you have a schedule, then maybe you can rotate the students to that one designated place, or if you have 2 or 3 designated spaces. But to keep that schedule and be consistent with it is going to be really critical, not just from where we've come from, but even going into this school year too, just to make sure that the kids have a structured schedule that they can follow each and every day. That will go a long way with just making sure the work is completed, parents stay sane a little bit, and you just get done to be successful.
Absolutely. So how can parents help their kids with subjects that they find difficult?
Well, I can actually say sort of an easier way is don't be scared to contact the teacher. I say that, do not be scared to contact the teacher. A lot of us, I'm gonna speak for myself, I've been out of high school, elementary school for a long time. So some things that you think you remember just don't sit on the back, don't sit in your mind no more. So even myself, we contacted the teacher and had direct questions for certain subjects. You know, you're not good at math. The teacher's great at math. Don't be scared. Contact them. Hey, section 1, this exercise right here, I'm not comfortable. I understand, and my kid's asking questions. What can you send me to help me work with my kid? Because they will send you out paperwork and things you need to help you do the certain items you may have to do with your kids.
Okay. And one thing that I can tell you about that is check out khanacademy.com. And I say that because some things are just different than it used to be. If you graduated over 20 years ago, math is different.
Yes.
You know, it's not the same. And what I noticed with my daughter, who's 10, is you have to do it their way. You have to write out their way. You can't do it the way I learned how to do it.
Yes.
So some things actually have changed or been updated. So khanacademy.com is a great resource for parents who want to just brush up their memory on how to do certain things.
Right. And as we were talking about earlier too, also Google it. If you don't understand it, you know what I mean, Google it. It'll just send you all the information that you need to know to give yourself that quick refresher so that you'll be able to help the student.
Absolutely. Google's a great tool.
Yes, it is.